Good morning, children. Today we will discuss some of the important things that are given in the book. Basically, I will highlight a few topics and the definitions and related content from the book. First of all, you open page number 173. There is a yellow box, scope of syllabus. Now, the portion which has been cut off this year is the sign convention and direct numerical problems using mirror formula. Everything related to sign convention and numerical problems are strike off. F equals to R by 2. Its numerical will not be included, but you should have the concept of focal length and radius of curvature. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to draw the ray diagrams. Now, this page of the book basically focuses upon the definition of light, which is not the standard definition or the scientific definition. Other than this, there are certain terms explained to you in this paragraph about the luminous objects, non-luminous objects. Next paragraph deals with the properties of light, like it can travel through vacuum, its wavelength, and etc. And then comes the definition of ray of light and beam of light in this page. The next page deals with the topic reflection of light, its definition, then requirements, what things you require when light is reflected. You need a reflector, you need a mirror is the best reflector because most of the light is reflected by it. And then there are certain important definitions based on this diagram. Children, in this chapter, light, all the ray diagrams are important. You never know what kind of question may come in the test. So you have to learn these definitions. You should know at least these definitions. However, these are not very important, but the concept of these terms are important. Then comes laws of reflection. There are two laws. Now let me tell you the important term, or you can say the key word in this. The incident ray, the normal and the reflecting surface at the point of incidence. Now you should mention at the same point of incidence lie in the same plane. The portion which I have underlined are the key portions which need to be included in the definition if you are asked. Okay, and the second law of reflection is very simple. So this was the first important information that I wanted to give you, that focus upon, when you will prepare the chapter, focus upon the key words and key portions. Similarly, now this knowledge desk, in this box you will see the reasoning, one reasoning based question is given, that why the light will retrace its path under this situation. So this has been explained beautifully here, and also in the video I have explained you the same concept. Next topic is about experimental verification of the laws of reflection. We don't generally ask you write an experiment to verify, but yes, how to verify the laws of reflection must be understood. So for this I have included one video right after this for your better understanding. Then comes image of an object formed by a mirror. And here you will see definitions of real image and virtual image, right? So here if I ask you the key portion in the real image one, so what will you write? That the light rays actually meet and it can be obtained on a screen. This is another important thing which need to be noted in the second sentence. And real image is inverted. These are the three important points that one must include while writing the statement. Similarly, for virtual image definition, the key word comes here, that these rays, the reflected rays, that means the light rays after reflection do not actually meet but appear to meet. Now this is the portion which you should not miss if you are given a question on virtual image. The definition is asked if, and then rest of the properties are just the opposite of that of the real image. Then comes the differences between real and virtual image. Children, there are 3 points of differences. Now, as in the audio clip, I have told you that there is no half marking. So, if I give you a 2 marks question, then you will write 2 points. If I ask you a 1 mark question on the difference between the two, you will write 1 point. If you are asked a 3 marks question, then only you will write all 3 points. And suppose you are writing this point correctly, but the first point under virtual image definition goes wrong, then you will not get half marks for this correct point because there is no half marking. So please understand these points clearly. How do we mark in 9th? And the same marking pattern we follow in 10th also. Okay, because in boards also you don't get half marks. So if you are writing 2 points for a 2 marks question, if suppose this point is correct but this is wrong, this point is correct and this point is also correct, so overall you will miss the marks for the first point because this has gone wrong. You will get only 1 mark for the answer, the second point which is correct. I hope I have made myself very clear. Then comes this another ray diagram 6.3, which explains you the image formation by a point object. When the mirror is placed vertically, the explanation over here, you are not supposed to learn the explanation, but you are supposed to understand the ray diagram with the help of this paragraph. What you will learn are the properties or the characteristics of the image formed by the plane mirror. This particular diagram explains you the concept of lateral inversion. Then there is a knowledge desk. Just go through the knowledge. Every knowledge desk you will have to go through. Remember this because this will help you to understand the concept of the chapter. Then comes the image formed by 2 plane mirrors inclined at an angle. Basically, you get 2 types of questions under this heading because this is based on the concept of multiple reflection. So either you will get a numerical based on this formula which is mentioned here, or you will get to draw ray diagrams based on multiple reflection. There were 2 ray diagrams which were taught to you. The explanation, the concept of virtual object, virtual image was all explained while these 2 were being done in the class. Again, children, I would like to tell you that the entire passage which you can see here, you are not supposed to learn the entire passage, but you will understand these paragraphs properly. Then only you will be able to answer any conceptual based question or reasoning based questions based on these 2 diagrams. Now children, this is a chapter based on light in which all the ray diagrams which you will find in this chapter, all of them are very important. A few more important things which I have already mentioned earlier in my videos, that whenever you extend the rays backwards, they have to be in dotted lines. Virtual image also has to be in dotted lines. So these things you will take care. Along with that, the most important thing is that the direction of the arrows, because direction of the arrows only determine which one is the reflected ray and which one is the incident ray. If you don't draw arrows, the diagram has got no meaning at all. On the next page, you will see the uses of plane mirrors are given. Their real life uses. There is a example based on the use of plane mirror, which is periscope, and the other one is kaleidoscope. Now in the periscope, this diagram has been drawn which clearly shows you the positioning of two mirrors. So if I want to twist a question based on periscope, I can easily ask you that why do we keep the two mirrors at an angle of 45 degree? So why do we keep? Just because we want the ray to be perpendicular over here. Will the observer see the laterally inverted image of the object? The answer will be no, because the reflection is taking place twice. So these are certain kind of conceptual questions which can be framed from here. So that for that to answer, you must understand the concept very properly. Next is a topic based on spherical mirrors, and again you will find definitions over here which are given in bold. Each and every definition need to be learned properly because if you miss out any part of the definition, it is very much possible that the meaning of the sentence will become different. So children, learn these definitions very carefully. Now the center of curvature, radius of curvature and principal focus. The distance between center of curvature and pole in both the mirror, it is the radius of curvature, and half of radius of curvature is the distance known as focal length. Since in the beginning of this video only I have told you, you will not get probably the numericals based on the formula, but you should have a concept, clear concept of the position of the principal focus, because unless and until you know where to mark focus, you will never be able to get the diagrams correctly. And then comes certain rules. Now you need not to learn these rules because you have to apply these rules in the ray diagrams. So for that, knowledge of these rays is important. Practice is also very important. There is another figure which explains you the converging and diverging nature of concave and convex mirrors. So here these two diagrams explains you beautifully this entire thing. Practice the ray diagrams very properly. Again, I am telling you children that the arrows need to be mentioned. If you are extending any of the rays should be in dotted lines always. Next one is the image formation by concave mirror. Children, you will not have to learn the entire explanation in any of the ray diagrams which are mentioned over here. But what will you prepare? You will practice all the ray diagrams thoroughly, and the rays which are drawn in any of the diagrams shown here are based on those standard rules only. Apart from the practicing of these ray diagrams, you should know this table very you should prepare this table. Whenever you change the position of object, what is the change that occurs in the position of the image? What happens to the relative size of the image? And what is the nature of the image? All these points it should be on your tips. And you should also be aware of the characteristics of the image. Apart from real and inverted or virtual and erect, you should also know the position. That means this entire table 6.2 you will have to learn. So how to learn? The best way of learning is to practice the ray diagrams. The more you practice the ray diagram, the clear concept it becomes, and you are very well aware of the pattern. And in the video only, when I was explaining you the concave mirrors and the convex mirror diagrams, I have told you the pattern. So if you remember the pattern, it will not be difficult for you at all. Similar thing for convex. However, there are only two ray diagrams here, so you will have to focus upon the direction which standard rule you are taking, where is the position of the image, and where with respect to the object, all these things to be taken care of. Now, one important thing is that convex mirrors are diverging in nature. So the ray which is reflecting from the surface of the mirror should always go away from the principal axis and never towards the principal axis. This entire paragraph explains you the formation of images in these two cases. You need not to learn if you have understood the concept. But you will definitely learn and focus on this table 6.3 apart from practicing the ray diagrams. Then one of the last topic is the distinction between convex, concave and plane mirrors. This distinction is based upon the viewpoint of image formation. What kind of image you obtain. So this is a very lengthy answer. If you are given this question basically comes of 2 marks. So what are the things, what are the key words that you should focus upon? Let me tell you. Here I have marked a few important terms. If you have a plane mirror, the image is always erect, of the same size, and the size remains unchanged. For a convex mirror, image is always erect but of smaller size, and the size further decreases when the person goes away from the mirror. In a concave mirror, erect and enlarged when the person is very close to the mirror, but as the person shifts away from the mirror, the person gets inverted. So basically in the entire explanation you will tell about two things, and these are whether the image is erect or it is inverted and the size. And the last one is the uses of spherical mirrors, whether the concave mirrors or it is the convex mirror, all the uses need to be done very properly, children. Concept check, if you solve them, it will be good for you, because for that you will find answers from the book and you will understand for which type of question what answer you should write. Now whenever you feel a problem, you can always consult your teachers. Then at the back of the book there are some illustrative examples given. These examples are very well explained, these questions. Kindly go through each and every question, understand the concept, try to solve, and this will help you to take a better test for sure.